And welcome back into Pure Adrenaline Sports, everybody. This is John coming at you with this week's MLB Power Rankings. We are getting close to the midway point of the season here. Most teams have played about 60, 65, somewhere in that range of games, so less than 100 games to go. So teams are going to have to – these bad teams are going to have to start winning some more. And we'll see if the number one teams keep moving themselves ahead. But let's come over to the chat. Let's say hi to some folks. Miss Gina's here. What's up, Miss Gina? Greetings and happy Sunday, Mr. and Mrs. PAS. Welcome in, Miss Gina. You're the only one chatting it up so far. We did gain a new follower on Rumble. Doesn't matter. Rumble. Today's the last day for Rumble, Twitch, X, and Kick for the Pure Adrenaline Network. Well, for our channel anyway. Anybody else that's part of the Pure Adrenaline Network can stream to wherever they like. But since the chat's kind of quiet this morning, I'm solo this week. Usually I have District Nation with me, the Washington Nationals fan. He said he'll be available next week to come back in. So let's get into this week's Power Rankings. So, and then I'll show there's a couple things we've added as well. So let's come over and take a look. Coming in at number 30 this week, the Colorado Rockies. Well, no movement from last week for Colorado. They were 30th last week, 4-6 over their last 10. Offensively, they're good. 10th in average, 13th in runs, 8th in hits. Not hitting home runs, 24th there. 9th in stolen bases. But look, I'm almost dead last in every pitching category. But if you look under the Colorado logo, I gave them a rank based off of some key stats. And offensively, I think they're the sixth best team in baseball. Pitching-wise, the 29th team in baseball. So playing out there in Colorado, they're 30th in ERA, 30th in runs allowed, 30th in hits allowed, 27th in home runs, and 29th in strikeouts. So not doing too well there. Let's come back over to the chat. DK's here. What's up, DK? How are you doing today? Miss Gina says she's starting to feel a lot better. That's always good news. DK's here. What's up, DK? DK is part of the Pure Adrenaline team. He's also one of the content creators on the new Pure Adrenaline football page as well. He'll be covering the 49ers. So I'm really excited for football season. To adding him in. Our guy Rising Rhino is here. What is up, Rising Rhino? He's saying go Rockies go. I thought it was go Knicks go. My fault. But guys, for anything football related, make sure you check out Rising Rhino. Our man absolutely crushes it during the NFL year with at least three streams. If there's the 9:30 games in the morning, he's got you covered for 4. All the primetime games. Then in the offseason, he's got the UFL, the Canadian Football League. There's a European League. He mixes in other sports as well. DK and Rhino, guys, both make sure you post your links in the chat. Let us know what you got coming up. DK asking people to hit that light. At the beach, just wanted to say hi. No worries. Rising Rhino saying showing up and showing out. What's up, buddy? Why are the Rockies at the bottom? Because they are horrendous. That's why. They are horrible. But one more with Milwaukee before the Cubs come to town for 3 starting on Tuesday. And then the Rockies go back out on the road to face the A's in Sacramento. But let's keep climbing through our ranks here. Coming in at number 29 this week, down 3 spots from last week at 26. Coming in at 29 this week, the Angels. They're 3-7 over their last 10. Offensively, I have them as the 21st overall team, and pitching-wise as well. They're giving up a ton of runs with the 28th ERA and 28th in runs allowed. But offensively, they're all over the place as well. Batting .230 as a team. Let's change that to make that look like a batting average. .230 overall. but 14th in runs because they're 11th in home runs. So when they're getting on base, they're batting those guys in. 24th in stolen bases, so not doing too well there. One more with the Dodgers before the Astros go to LA, and then next weekend they're at home again for Tampa Bay. Charles Adderley is here. What is up, Sir Charles? Yeah, once again, solo this week. No District Nation this week. He said he'll be back next with us next week. So, all right, let's keep climbing here. We usually don't get too much chatter until we start getting to the top 10. For those of you that are Met fans in the chat, let us know. Where do you think our Mets are after the last 10 days or so that they've had? But let's keep climbing up towards that number 20 spot here. Coming in at number 28, the Kansas City Royals. No movement from last week, 4-6 over their last 10. They are equally on offense and pitching-wise, 24th ranked. One more with Minnesota before they go back home for Texas and Houston. Charles says he's doing very well. Love to see it. Make sure you vote in the poll there on the YouTube side as well. But Kansas City struggling right now. Don't know if they would trade a guy like Bobby Witt Jr. I don't know. I don't know if he wants out. I don't know if they want to rebuild around him. But let's look here. 20th in average. So they're getting on base, not really getting on base. 20th, that's the bottom tier there, but 27th in runs. They're not a home run hitting team. 24th there. They will steal some bags. 13th when they get on base, but pitching bottom 10 in almost every category except for strikeouts. So another team that'll be interesting to see what they do at the trade deadline. Coming in at number 27. Up 2 spots from last week. DK, your San Francisco Giants are up 2 spots from 29 to 27. 4-6 over their last 10. Offensively, second in average, first in hits, but they're not getting people home. 21st in runs, 17th in home runs, dead last in stolen bases, which gives them a 12th overall rank on offense. But pitching-wise, they are 22nd overall, 22nd in ERA, 23rd in runs, 24th in hits. One more with the Cubs before they return home for a 3-game series with the Nationals, and day off on Thursday, and then the Cubs are in town next weekend. So no comments going on here, so we'll keep climbing through the ranks here. Coming in at number 26. The Detroit Tigers up 1 spot. Last week, District and I talked about how the Tigers were going to continue to fall, and that didn't happen. They actually gained a spot this week, up to 26, 5-5 over their last 10. Pitching, they're the top 10. They're the 9th team in pitching overall. Scooble really hasn't had much of that. So, but 22nd on offense. So that's where they're struggling right now. One more with Seattle before Minnesota comes to town for 3. And then next weekend they go to Cleveland for 3, starting on Friday. Still no comments about 26 through 30 here. So we'll recap these teams, as you guys know, that are here every week. Coming in at number 25. Once again, I know they're not the Oakland A's anymore. It's just easier to keep them that instead of just the Athletics. 3-7 over their last 10. They are 4 games under 500 on the year. 16th on offense, 28th in pitching, 12th in average, 9th in hits. But another team getting on base but not scoring runs, as they're 22nd there. Charles asking everybody to hit that like button and sub. Let's go. Since we're at 25, we'll take a quick look at the poll in the chat. I said who should be ranked number 1 with 4 votes so far. We have 2 people saying the Braves, 1 person with the Dodgers, and 1 person with the Brewers. So if you're watching on the replay, you won't have access to the poll, but let us know in the chat what you got coming up, what you think of our rankings, and who you have ranked higher than we might have. But coming in at number 24. Scan complete. No, we don't want that. We don't want to be scanning stuff while I'm live streaming. Coming in at number 24 this week. There it is, 24. The Cincinnati Reds down 6 spots from 18 last week to 24 this week. 31-32 on the year, so a game under 500, 3-7 over their last 10. That'll cause you to drop some. Another team batting .230 here. I don't know why it keeps taking that away. That's 26th overall, 28th in hits. They are hitting home runs. They've hit the 9th most home runs, but they're only 18th in runs scored. Pitching, yeah, look at Cincinnati there. 20th on offense, 27th pitching. They have 1 more with St. Louis today, and then they go to San Diego for 3, and then they're back home for Arizona next weekend. So 3-7 over their last 10, so struggling right now. But let's keep climbing up to that number 20 spot here. Coming in at number 23. The Minnesota Twins, another team that was in the top 20, dropped out. So there's going to be some teams that moved up to the top 20. 30-36 on the year, 3-7 over their last 10. On offense, they're 13th overall, 10th in runs scored. But pitching, another team struggling with pitching. 23rd overall. They're 23rd in ERA, 25th in runs allowed, 25th in hits allowed, 11th in home runs, so not too bad there. It's not middle of the pack, or a little worse there in strikeouts. They have 1 more with Kansas City. And then a day off tomorrow, followed by a 3-game set in Detroit, and then they are back home next weekend for St. Louis. All right, chat is still kind of quiet. That's okay. Coming in at number 22, up 1 spot, the Houston Astros. They are still 6 games under 500, but they are 8th overall on offense, 26th in pitching. Look at their offense: 7th in average, 7th in runs, 5th in hits, 5th in home runs. Not stealing bags, so not that big of a drop off for not stealing bases. But look at their pitching: 29th in ERA, second to last there. 26th in runs, 19th in hits, giving up a ton of home runs. 1 more with Oakland, Sacramento, Vegas, whatever you want to call them. Then they go to, I keep saying Anaheim. I know it's Los Angeles Angels. And then they go to Kansas City next weekend for 3. But let's keep climbing here. Coming in at number 21. Coming in at 21. Is it our Mets? No, it is the Miami Marlins. No movement from last week. 4-6 over their last 10. 14th on offense. 13th in pitching. 1 more with Tampa Bay before Arizona comes to town for 3. And then they go to Pittsburgh next weekend for 3. But 13th in average, 18th in runs, 13th in hits. Not a home run hitting team, but they'll steal a bag. They have 72 on the year, which is first in baseball, and they're pitching all over the place. 18th in ERA, 18th in runs, but they've only given up. So they are 7th in hits, 9th in home runs, and 12th in strikeouts. So Miami will finish the 30 through 21. Let's recap that here. Let's recap that here real quick, everybody. If you missed it, Colorado coming in at 30. The Angels at 29th, down 3 spots. Kansas City, no movement at 28. The Giants up 2 spots to 27. Detroit up a spot. The A's dropped 5 spots. The Reds 6 spots. The Twins 4 spots. So those teams were all in the top 20 last week and not in the top 20 this week. So I expect the Reds, out of this group, I expect the Reds to climb back up. The Reds should not be in this bottom tier here. But what are your guys' thoughts in the chat? David's here. What's up, David? See if we get any comments here before we keep climbing up through the top 20 now. Hello, David. All right, not much chatter going on for these these bottom 10 teams. So let's keep coming here through the top 20. Let's go from 20 to 11. Coming in at number 20 this week, 6-4 over their last 10, are New York Mets. That's up 5 spots. Still struggling offensively. The worst offensive team ranked in the sport. I have them, but 6th in pitching. So that's what's keeping them in games. Yeah, 28th in average, still 24th in runs, 27th in hits, 18th in home runs, though, and 22nd in stolen bases. Much different than last year where they were near the top. But pitching, look at them. They are 8th in ERA, 10th in runs, 8th in hits, 3rd in least home runs, 5th in most strikeouts. A terrible loss last night, 3-2 to the Padres. But they got one more with the Padres today before a day off tomorrow. Then on Tuesday night, they're back home for St. Louis, and then a weekend series at home with the Braves. So tough stuff coming up. You guys have seen that at the bottom. Those are the streams I'll be live for. Maybe we'll mix in something else on Monday night because there's no Mets. And the game on Thursday, which is the 11th, the Mets have a day game. So maybe we'll look at the night schedule and see if we can do a night game as well. But let's see what you guys are saying about our Mets being at number 20 this week. David says, yeah, great pitchers duel last night. Yep. Nope, no Mets game tomorrow. Nope. In my opinion, the Mets should be in first place. Yeah, that would be biased then. But let's keep climbing here. So our Mets up 5 spots. Coming in at number 19, Fitzy's Boston Red Sox. Fitzy joined me for the game last night, so it was great to see Fitzy. They're up 3 spots from 22 last week to 19 this week. Offense, they are struggling. They're 22nd overall, even though they have the 9th best average. But pitching, another team that's in the top 10 in pitching, but near the bottom of the ranks here. One more with the Yankees today. The game yesterday was rained out. Then Boston goes to Tampa Bay for 3 before they're back home for Texas next weekend. So, yeah, the Red Sox, once again, they were in that 21 through 30 range last week as well as our Mets, and they're both in the top 20 this week as well. So let's keep climbing since there's not much going on in the chat. Coming in at number 18, the Baltimore Orioles, another team that was in that 21 through 30 slot. And they are up 6 spots to 18 this week, 6-4 over their last 10, 31-34 on the year. 7th offensively, 25th pitching. We've seen a lot of that so far. It's right. It's a lot of one or the other, right? We haven't seen them. There's been 2 or 3 teams where they've been pretty equal, but most teams are really good on offense or really good on pitching and not both. But one more with Toronto before Baltimore's home for a 4-game set with Seattle, and then San Diego comes to town for 3 next weekend. So see if the Orioles can keep climbing up through our. See if the Orioles will keep climbing up through the ranks. Coming in at number 17 this week, the Toronto Blue Jays. They are down 2 spots from last week, 5-5 over their last 10. Offensively, all over the place, giving them 25th on the year, 6th in average, but 23rd in runs. Not hitting home runs where they're 23rd. They don't steal many bags, 27th. Pitching, middle of the pack. They're 14th overall, but 14th ERA, 15th in runs. One more with Baltimore, who we just talked about. Then they are home for Philadelphia for 3. And then the Yankees go to Toronto for 3. But we are getting to the midway point here, so let's keep climbing. Coming in at number 16, no movement from last week. The Philadelphia Phillies are still sitting at number 16 here, 7-3 over their last 10. Don't know why there's no movement if they're 7-3 over their last 10. They are still struggling offensively. They are 29th in average. Only the Mets are worse. 26th in runs, 29th in hits. But pitching starting to climb up through the ranks there. They're at the midway. They're at the midpoint. 15th overall, 13th in ERA, 12th in runs, 27th. They give up a ton of hits, 27th. 14th for home runs, but second most strikeouts. They have one more with the White Sox today. That's the rubber match there. Then they go to Toronto for 3 and Milwaukee for 3 next weekend. So let's keep climbing up to number 15 here, getting close to that top 10. So once again, Philadelphia, no movement from last week, even though they are 7-3 over their last 10. Coming in at number 15, down 5 spots from number 10 last week. A 3-7 record will do that. They're still 2 games above 500. But all right, here's one of those teams that's even, 19th on offense and 19th with their pitching. Middle of the pack are worse on offense, and same thing on pitching. Middle of the pack are worse. There, one more with Washington. I believe Washington might be going for the sweep there. Then they go to Miami for 3 and Cincinnati for 3. So we are at the midway point. Let's check the poll again, see where we're at. We're only at 5 votes. Atlanta is at 40%. The Dodgers and Brewers are at 20%. And someone else is at 20% as well. Yo, District Nation. District Nation's in the chat. Says we are going for the sweep. So, yeah, Arizona right now, we have them ranked 19th on offense and 19th on the pitching. But let's keep climbing up here. Coming in at number 14 this week. We will recap the top 11 through 20 here once we get there. The Texas Rangers up 3 spots from 17 last week to 14 this week. Don't know why they would be ahead of the Phillies. I don't know. I'd have to take a look at that. I don't know why they would be ranked ahead of the Phillies, but they are 28th on offense and look, 7th pitching, so great pitching staff, but not getting anything done on offense. One more with Cleveland. Then they go to Kansas City for 3 and Boston for 3 next weekend. So we'll look into that. I don't know why. It's not just based off a win-loss record, but let's see here. Texas and Philly. We got to find out why Philly's got a winning record, better in almost every category except pitching. So we will take a look. We'll keep climbing here as well. Coming in at number 13 this week, the San Diego Padres down 2 spots from 11 last week to 13 this week. Our Mets looking to win that series. They are 2-8 over their last 10. 30th in average. Oh, so the Mets can't be dead last because the Padres are 30th in average, 30th in runs, and 30th in hits. But look at their pitching. 10th in ERA, 7th in fewest runs, 6th in fewest hits, 5th in fewest home runs. One more with our Mets today. Then the Reds go to town. And then next weekend, San Diego is in Baltimore. So San Diego, 29th ranked team overall on offense, where our Mets are dead last, 30th, and 11th on the pitching side. So that's why we've had some low-scoring games. Coming in at number 12, the Washington Nationals. There's District Nation's team. They are up 2 spots to number 12. They are first on offense. We have them as the first offensive team, and 30 the worst pitching team. So, District, if you're still in the chat, let me know if you agree with that. 10th on average, first in runs scored, 6th in hits, 6th in home runs, and 6th in stolen bases. But pitching, they are 24th in ERA, 29th in runs, 28th in hits, 28th in home runs, and 23rd in strikeouts. One more with Arizona. Then they go to San Francisco for 3, a day off on Thursday, and then they're back home for Seattle. Let's see if District's still here in the chat before we move to number 11. I'll wait a couple more minutes here. Once again, on the YouTube side, if you looked at the pinned chat, that is our new football channel. We got some great content coming up over there. Once we get closer to football season, we are starting to post some content now. I know Fitzy's working on another piece of content about his Patriots. Jonathan said last night that he's got another video he's getting ready to drop as well. I have some more stuff I'm working on. Like moving up, even though we got swept by Miami, but then destroying Arizona on Friday. Good ranking there. And this right here, this is why we are done. Today is our last day on Twitch. This right here. This is all we get on Twitch. 640 followers, and this is the kind of nonsense we get in the chat. But let's go with number 11, then we'll recap the 11 through 20 ranks. The Cubs down 5 spots from number 6 last week. They're at number 11 this week, 5-5 over their last 10. 9th on offense, 17th in pitching, average 18th. They're getting on base, 9th in hits, 11th in home runs. But pitching, that's where they're struggling right now. 20th in ERA, 19th in runs allowed. 30, they've given up the most home runs, 96 home runs, and not striking out a ton of people either. One more with San Francisco before they go to Colorado for 3, and then San Francisco for 3. David says, yeah, wow, big drop for the Cubs. Yep. Yeah. So, and falling out of the top 10 there as well. So let's take another look. Let's find some right words to say here. Another look at 11 through 20. So let's look. Our Mets move up 5 spots to number 20. The Red Sox up 3 spots to 19. The Orioles up 6 to 20 or to 18. Toronto has dropped 2 spots. Philadelphia, no movement. That seems strange to me. But Arizona dropped 5 spots. Texas up 3 spots. San Diego. And so everybody, except for Philadelphia in this tier, everybody either moved up or dropped. So a lot of movement around them, but they didn't move. So let's take a look at the poll again, see if we have any more votes. 6 votes. 33% for the Dodgers, 33% for the Braves on who should be number 1. One vote each for the Brewers, and someone else got 1 vote as well. So let's get to our top 10 here, everybody. Once again, thank you all so much for joining us. District Nation, our guy District Nation in the chat will be back live with us next week. Hopefully. All right, where are we? We want to count it. District says, I personally think the Nats should be number 1 if the pitching was average. District says he will be back next week. Love it. Love it. So let's keep climbing up to our number 1 spot here. We'll see what the chat's right now split on the Dodgers and Braves. We will see. The Braves coming into this week, 5 straight weeks at number 1, and we'll see if they can make it 6. But coming in at number 10, up 3 spots from last week, the St. Louis Cardinals. They are 34-28 on the year. Somebody asked me who my biggest surprise team was last night in the live chat, and I told them the Chicago White Sox, and he got all bent out of shape that I didn't say his Cardinals. The Cardinals are a surprise. They're not the biggest surprise to me. But top 10 right now, 5-5 over their last 10, 34-28 on the year. 26th in offense. I think I got that. That can't be right because they're 13th in average, 17th in runs, 21st in hits. So I need to double check that. I don't know how they could be 26th there when they're in the top 20 in almost every category. So St. Louis ranks. And pitching seems okay. 20th overall, but they're 16th in ERA, 13th in runs, 22nd in hits, 9th fewest home runs, but not striking out a ton of people either. They're at 27th overall in pitching strikeouts. Charles says he predicted that the Cardinals would be in the top 10 this week. Post on the community tab. Maybe what I'll do from now on Saturdays, I'll make a post on the community tab reminding everybody about the power rankings on Sunday, and then we'll get some of your guys' predictions before we go live. So coming in at number 9 this week. So the Cardinals, 1 more with the Reds. Then they play our Mets and Twins. Gina thinks that's a good idea. So let's look here at number 9 this week. Up 3 spots, the Chicago White Sox in the top 10. 34-30 on the year. They are 10th overall on offense, 18th in pitching. So I was worried when Murakami got hurt, their third baseman. I thought they would fall some. They have continued to climb up through the ranks. They have continued to climb. 1 more with Philadelphia today. That's been a good series. Yeah, right? Even District says it. White Sox still high without Murakami, right? 1 more. That's the rubber match with the Phillies today. Then they are back home for Atlanta for 3 and the Dodgers for 3. So, so tough matchups coming up. That's funny. They were literally standing on the corner in Winslow, Arizona. That was funny. District says they will fall after this week. Out of those 6 games, what if they go 4-2? Not saying they will, but what if they go 4-2? Say they beat Philly today. They take 2 out of 3 from Atlanta. Not saying that's going to happen. No, that ain't going to happen. Never mind, District. You're right. I can't even get myself to say it. But coming in at number 8 this week, up 1 spot, the Pirates. I haven't seen Denny today, but the Pirates are up a spot again, up to number 8 from 9 last week. I have them as the second-ranked offense, and they're 10th in pitching. 1 more with Atlanta before they're back home to face the Dodgers and Marlins. The Eagles, Mr. John, that was good. Yeah, there was a photo. I don't know what I have on the TV here. It was a commercial. It was a commercial for something. But yeah, the Pirates up a spot in the top 10 still. 3 games over. Take it easy, he says. Excuse me. Let's keep climbing here. Before we get to the top 3 teams, we'll take a look at the poll again. So vote in the poll on the YouTube side. Seattle, 8-2 over their last 10. They are 3 games above 500. 17th on offense, 4th in pitching. 1 more in Detroit before they go to Baltimore for 4, and Washington for 3. So a long road trip here for Seattle. But Seattle is up 1 spot to 7 again. 21st in average, 16th in runs, 19th in hits. They are hitting home runs. They're 7th there, and 10th in stolen bases. And look at the pitching. 5th in ERA, 5th in runs. Not giving up too many home runs. There's 7th fewest and 10th most strikeouts. So Seattle still climbing. They did have an 8-game winning streak going on before our Mets salvaged one there in Seattle. But let's keep climbing up to number 5 here. Coming in at number 6, the Cleveland Guardians up 1 spot from 7 last week. 8 games over on the year, even though they're 5-5 over their last 10. Offensively, they're 18th overall, 12th in pitching. Their pitching staff has struck out the most batters, but they're giving up a ton of home runs here. 21st there. 1 more in Texas before they return home to face the Yankees and Tigers. And let's start climbing into the top 5 here. Coming in at number 5, the Tampa Bay Rays. No movement from last week, even though they're 3-7 over their last 10. They're still 13 games above 500. All over the place on offense. 4th in average. But yeah, 12th in runs, 11th in hits, and they are 15th overall. We're pitching, they're all over the place as well, making them 16th overall. 1 more with Miami before they face Boston at home, and then they go on the road to LA to face the Angels. The Yankees coming in at number 4, down 1 spot from number 3 last week. Still 6-4 over their last 10. They got rained out yesterday. Boston did win on Friday night there. But the Yankees all over the place. Now without Judge for a couple months. So we'll see where they drop. They are 5th on offense, but 2nd in pitching. We'll see where that offense goes week by week without Judge. Offense 5th. And then we'll see. I'm not worried about the pitching. I think the pitching will stay dominant there. But one more with the Red Sox today. 3 in Cleveland starting tomorrow, an off day Thursday, and then they're in Toronto next weekend. So let's take a look at the poll for our top 3 this week. Let's see who you guys are saying for number 1. Only 7 votes in the poll. 43% saying Atlanta. 43% saying Atlanta. 29% saying the Dodgers. And 14% saying Milwaukee. So coming in at number 3, since the Yankees dropped out of that spot, is the Milwaukee Brewers. They are up 1 spot, 7-3 over their last 10, 16 games above 500 on the year. They are 11th overall on offense, 3rd in pitching. 1 more with Colorado here. Then they have 3 in Sacramento with the A's, and then they are back home to face the Phillies next weekend. So let's see who comes in at number 1 this week. Will Atlanta continue their streak, or will the Dodgers knock them off this week? Coming in at number 2, the Atlanta Braves. They dropped out of that number 1 spot, even though they are still 44-21 on the year, 7-3 over their last 10. Look at, they are 4th overall on offense, but look at, they're second in average, 2nd in runs, 2nd in hits, and 2nd in home runs. 5th in pitching, 2nd in ERA, 3rd in fewest runs allowed, 4th in fewest hits. 1 more with Pittsburgh before they go to the south side to face the White Sox on Tuesday. And then they are in Flushing to face our Mets next weekend. Oops, let's get rid of this. You can't show up at the end and ask where your Phillies are. The Dodgers coming in at number 1 this week, even though Atlanta has a better record. Once again, not solely based off of win-losses. 1 more with the Angels here. Then they go to Pittsburgh for 3 and the White Sox for 3. 7-3 over their last 10. Man, offense, pitching-wise, look, 1st in ERA, 1st in fewest runs, 1st in fewest hits. So let's recount, relook at. I got to come up with a real word to say here for the top 10. Coming in at number 10, up 3 spots from last week, the Cardinals. The White Sox are up 3 spots to number 9. The Pirates up a spot. The Mariners up a spot. The Guardians up a spot. The Tampa Bay, no movement. The Yankees dropped a spot. Milwaukee moved to 3rd. The Braves dropped to 2, and Atlanta moved back to that number 1 spot. So the 5-week reign for Atlanta is over, and we'll see if the Dodgers can start a run here on consecutive weeks. Let me see. Let me see here. Because earlier in the year, the Dodgers were number 1. The Dodgers were number 1 for 3 straight weeks before Atlanta took over. So the Dodgers and Braves it's either been the Dodgers or Braves every time at number 1. Nobody else has hit that number 1 spot. Somebody else had to move up to number 2 at one time, though, because the Dodgers dropped to 3. Oh, the Yankees twice hit number 2. So once again, thank you all so much for hanging out in the chat. We will be live for our Mets and Padres at 4 o'clock today. So a couple hour break before we start. But people will be live. Fitzy will be live at 1:30 today. Not District. Dr. DeLay will be live with his Pirates today as well. So make sure you hit that thumbs up on this video. and we will be back at 4 o'clock. And if not, we will see everybody next week. Thanks again, everyone.